In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. I'm Father Moses McPherson. I live in Texas, and I see a lot of information on YouTube regarding financial freedom. Financial freedom, it's the retire early crowd, and buy a small business or buy some property or commercial buildings or this, that, and the other. Everyone is seeking for this financial freedom for a variety of reasons. Some people grow up in a house where their parents always fought about it. They became traumatized by that. They developed a fear of that. Some people are just greedy. They want to have more. They think that having more will fulfill them. If they have a better house, a better car, a better wife, all of those things will finally change their inward state. If they can manipulate everything on the outside, they'll somehow be fulfilled on the inside. Some people are just lazy. They don't want to have to work anymore. They think that they're going to pursue this dream for a number of years and get there, and then the rest of their life is just going to be a playfest. And the funny thing is with all these people in common, they look for financial freedom as a means of salvation, but it just becomes a slavery. A person who is chasing after money is chasing after an illusion. People think that money brings freedom. In fact, people talk about this, that freedom is this idea that can be encapsulated by the amount that's in your bank account, which is a complete and total and utter fallacy. Because it doesn't solve life's problems. It doesn't solve the inner state of a person. In fact, when persons go after this financial freedom, they create kind of a mental labyrinth that they get lost in. They're constantly seeking after this number, this digit, this bank account, this asset, this thing, in order to find some kind of reward or completion or fulfillment in it. And it's just stuff. It's just numbers on a screen. In fact, there was a Saint Gabriella who said, money is the cheapest thing in the world. But it creates kind of a mind virus, a sickness, a mental illness, that the more that a person seeks after it, the more that they feel that they don't have enough and they need more. There was an interview with the richest man in the world at one point. I think it was Rockefeller. And they said, how much is enough? And he said, $1 more. See, that's the perversion of seeking after money. It warps your mental state. It warps your vision on life. Life becomes about stuff, seeking after things, seeking after acquiring an intangible that is an internal intangible, not an external intangible, not an external tangible. People are looking after grabbing stuff to make them feel whole or fulfilled, or they're grabbing stuff to alleviate the fear inside of them. But they're not actually addressing the inner illness. See, they're trying to live life and find their security in money, not in God. And since we know that all security found outside of God is an illusion, there's kind of this game that a person is playing with themselves where they're trying to acquire more stuff, more things, more numbers on a screen, but they can't get away from that inner nagging feeling that it may not be enough. What if the market turns? What if there's a recession? What if I lose this asset? What if business goes south next year? What if the wrong person gets elected? All of these different parameters for their freedom are locked into this kind of illusionary network of ideas that are all strung together to create a kind of a bed that they can sleep in. If all of the lines of life correlate and make sense, and all the money adds up and all the assets are there, I'll finally be able to rest. But you never get there. It's an impossibility. A person who's looking for real freedom should always be looking for freedom from sin. In fact, St. John Chrysostom says the only thing in life to fear is sin. For the Christian, death doesn't even exist. We have no fear of death. The Christian is living in a state of life that transcends worldly existence because our foot is already planted in eternity. We're not trying to create utopia on earth. We're not trying to fix everything. And we're certainly not trying to find our freedom in acquiring a bunch of numbers on a screen. That is all an illusion that's actually a delusion. The more that a person looks for those things, the more that they run away from them. But the interesting thing is, the more that a person seeks God and the kingdom, as Christ says, the more peace and tranquility he has in his life, despite the uncertainties of life. This is why Christ said, essentially, give us this day our daily bread, but it was the reference to living in the day and in the moment and not trying to live in the future. He said today has enough anxieties of its own. For the person who's seeking after financial freedom, they're constantly living in a future date. When I get there, when I arrive, when this happens. They're always projecting into the future, but they're never enjoying the present. See, for the Christian, we have to enjoy the present, the moment, today. We never get it back. It is the most sacred of all aspects of the world is our time and what we do with it and how we utilize it and the people that we spend it with. See, when a person becomes obsessed with money, they lose their focus even on people around them. Life doesn't become about family. It doesn't become about friendship, about the interpersonal, about memories, about spending time together. Life becomes about things. And we are distorted like this. See, the person who's truly alive is living in today with all of its uncertainty, with all of the nagging, clamoring, anxieties and fears and uncertainties and all these things. And they calmly put that all into the hands of God and say, I will live in today. I will bask in today. I will accept what happens today. And in that way, they're able to be present. They're able to love. They're able to form relationships and bonds. They're able to strengthen their life. They're not distracted or seeking for something else or something in the future or things, because all of real freedom and contentment happens on the inside. You can't make your externals dictate your internals. You know, as that popular saying goes, happiness is an inside job. What they mean is stop trying to change life to make life make you feel better about life. Change your attitude, your perspective, your outlook on life, the way that you engage it, the way that you invest in it. Are you stockpiling money for a future date that may not even happen? Christ talks in the Gospels about the man who has such a big bounty, he says to himself, I'm just going to build a bigger barn. Bigger barns, that's the key. I'm going to keep stockpiling all my stuff. And it says that God says to him, you fool, your life tonight will be demanded of you. And he loses it all. He dies. See, the things in this life are not meant to be taken with us. They're not meant to be accumulated. Man is his freest the more that he strips off the possessions of life, the things of life, the concerns, the cares of life. Somebody goes, you're going to be free when you have 5 or 6 rental properties. And all the headaches that go along with them, the tenants, the insurance, the bills, the IRS, the property taxes, the utilities, the upkeep, that's going to make you free? You're going to be a slave to serving all those properties with all your time and energy. You're going to become the employee of those properties. You think you own them, but they end up owning you. That's the key. The stuff you think you own ends up owning you. It owns your time, your mind, your energy. Everything that you invest in becomes a source of which you pour yourself into. And the reality is, man was created for eternity. Man has an eternal perspective. Man knows that there's something wrong with this world and can't put his finger on it. The problem with this world is it's not eternity yet. We are living in anticipation of a time to come when we will leave this world. And we are best situated for that journey with the least amount of possessions possible. The freer we are from this world, from the things of this world, from stuff, the more we're able to live this world for what matters. Our relationship with God, our relationship with other people, and preparing our souls for the journey to the next life.